Oh my
I just wasn't thinking. So we're going live to both like simultaneously.
Okay.
It's crazy. I don't know what to.
I honestly don't think it'll phase YouTube.
I think it'll be
They're
all right.
so aloof.
I think it'll be all right.
Like what?
But
there's a stream happening.
Everyone's
right
on
now?
equal footing today. Hi guys.
Hi.
So your show has now started.
My show has started with a burp, and yeah, thank you for being here, guys. Welcome back to Awesome Hardware, the best tech show ever.
Yeah.
Whatever, if you want to call it a tech show.
You guys have seen other tech shows. They suck.
Yeah, they do.
This one's gonna be.
We fully disapprove of all other tech shows.
Oh, you finished your beer already?
I did.
I didn't.
Well, you were up and doing things. I was just kind of couch potatoing it here, but you'll catch up. Wow. By the time I finished that sentence, you had caught up.
Well, you can't be a slacker.
That's true.
All right. Welcome to Awesome Hardware.
Hey guys, this is a live show that Paul and I do every single Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on twitch.tv/awesomehardware. And to our respective YouTube channels, we like to split the show up in two halves on the YouTubes. Today, we are streaming to my channel first, and then after about an hour or so you can head over to Paul's channel where we'll stream the rest of the episode. You can find a link to his channel in my description, or you can go to youtube.com/paulshardware. That's not true. And yeah, it's going to be a great show. We like to talk about tech and tech news, things that are trending in the field that we love, and also occasionally have a good nice beer or two.
We do.
And
we drink beer, we curse occasionally, so if you're
little ones around or
easily offended or have small children, hide them.
Yeah, hide or
turn this off.
Suffocate them.
Go watch something that's educational.
Go watch Barney. Does Barney still exist? Probably not.
I mean, it exists. It's not gone.
I mean,
it's not like
there's a live running show called Barney.
Is it in syndication? Like, can you?
Is it in syndication? Right.
Is it on broadcast television?
I think,
or available for streaming. I'm not sure.
I think Barney, should have died by now.
The point is, you should go watch Barney.
He's a dinosaur. He should have been alive in this era to begin with. Anyway, I'm getting too into this. We love that you are here, and we thank you. I'm just watching GIFs on. Okay, GIF or GIF? Because I said GIF.
I don't even know anymore.
In a recent video, and I got so much hate for it.
It's one of those things.
It was like the internet broke from me saying GIF. It was in the Q&A video. I was like, I can't believe
it's one of those popular, highly contentious things to argue about that ultimately is of zero significance, like, you know, pineapple on pizza, or like whether the dress was blue and yellow or pink and green or whatever the hell the stupid dress was.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like, it's like one of those things.
But I also feel like this is somewhat more like, I don't know. I feel like there's a deeper, like there's a more real, there's an objective truth here somewhere.
I had always boiled it down to what, from what I understand, and I hope this isn't just like an urban legend that I believed or something, but I thought the creator of the format said it was GIF. That's what I always thought. So
ever since I read that, probably like a week ago, I started calling it GIF. So I've been calling it GIF my whole life until I Googled it just before filming that video and was like, oh, it's GIF, the creator of the word, of the, actually not the word, of the animation.
Of the universe. And
the universe called it GIF. And I was like, Google wouldn't lie to me. Never has, never will. Trust it with my life. I'm going to start calling it GIF now. And then everyone hates me now for calling it that. So anyway, maybe this is a
they don't hate you, they're just disappointed.
Yeah, I know, that's even worse. But
crushed their reality.
You guys sound off in chat. Creator's wrong.
He knows nothing.
You're wrong about your own creation.
I'm gonna drink this beer.
You're gonna drink that beer, which has a lovely name. What are you drinking?
All right, so let's. I mean, we've already began the show, but let's continue to begin the show.
Begin it even deeper.
By introducing you to the beers for today. I went over to Bevmo, spent some money. I got this Orgasmic Orange, basically because it's called Orgasmic Orange. So I hope it's not terrible. This is from Indian Wells Brewing Company. That's pretty local here. There's a casino over there, the Indian Wells Casino. Anyway, 6.2% alcohol. It's a premium orange flavored lager flavored with orange peels. So
it sounds tasty.
Let's see.
I've got the old tried and true Great White from Lost Coast Brewing.
Lost Coast Great White.
I love
Why don't
Lost
you
Coast.
use this Paul's Hardware emblazoned logo
sure
emblazoned bottle opener?
I sure will. It is quite sturdy and
oh wow, that's
seems like a good purchase.
headstrong.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
The
I feel like that was.
bottle opener does not guarantee a good pour, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean,
but it will open your bottles.
I didn't feel like that was horrible. I guess I just gave it a too quick of a tilt.
Well, you know, it is orgasmic orange.
It is
Paul.
orgasmic.
There
so it
does
just
tend to be a lot more white stuff in there.
So you get a lot of head with the orgasmic orange.
There you go.
I guess is the point.
Yes, indeed.
Haha. Well played, Indian Wells Brewing Company.
Maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's just part of the experience of the orgasmic orange. That's by design. It's like 90% head.
I mean, I have that on video, so I can go watch it back at some point because I don't feel like I really gave it that strong of a tilt there. But
yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna down this. So cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you all for joining us today.
Yay. How was the foam? From what you can tell, how's the beer? Tasty?
It's not bad.
Orangey?
It's not bad.
All right. Well,
It's not knocking my socks off, but
well, I guess Paul doesn't love head as much as we thought he did. That's okay.
maybe it's the type of thing that builds up and then towards the end. See, like that was a very
What the hell?
that was a very careful pour down the side of the glass. And,
Okay, there's something.
all right.
There's something chemistry related going on here.
Yeah.
There's something scientific that can explain this phenomenon that we're seeing here. But until that explanation comes around, in the meantime, let's plug our stores because we sell stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like bottle openers and glasses and mugs and pint glasses and stuff. My store is bitwit.tech/store, and there I sell all kinds of things. The mouse pads are doing really well. The awesome hardware mugs are doing well. These desk mats are very high quality. Stitched edges, rubber bottoms, and fabric cloth material, nice embroidery, and
It's all good stuff.
shirts and things.
All high quality.
Paul sells stuff
it
too
out.
on his store.
Wait, you still have fidget spinners?
I still have a few fidget
There's like
spinners
3 left.
There's probably like 3.
Maybe there's 5.
You know, it's really hard to sell things that are a huge trend.
They're
that have
complete fads that are just
complete fads.
everyone lost interest in.
But I'm glad that I only have 3 left and not like 100.
That's true.
That's very nice.
Paul'sHardware.net for my store. I also have an arrangement of various products, which are very nice.
I like that hoodie.
Yeah,
I really want a hoodie like that on my store.
Check out my zip-up hoodie.
But yeah,
it's really nice because it's actually gotten cold here in California now.
it has
This is,
what we would consider
the logo.
cold. People were making fun of me on Twitter because I was like, "It's 69 in my house."
It's lined
They weren't making fun
inside
of the
with
69 part, but
orgasmic fleece or something like that.
I like zipper
Very,
hoodies.
very soft to the touch.
I'm still rocking the Ryzen one for now until I have my own. Might be redesigning my logo soon. We will see.
Unfortunately, on neither of our stores can you buy an awesome sauce.
Awesome Sauce Network. Yep.
Shirt.
Yeah.
She's
Anyone who owns one of these, you're the real OG. Because and you should probably sell this on eBay for
it's
the
worth
price of a GTX 1080.
tons of money.
So if you buy stuff from either of our stores, we will yell Johnson at you at the end of our show, which is slightly
tradition.
concerning, but also kind of cool.
It's ritual.
And you will be helping support a great cause, that being us. Let's move on, though, to my first segment, a segment that I actually haven't done in a long time, Paul.
Yeah.
To fund or not to fund? Where we take a look
I can fix this.
Oh, Paul's on it while he warms that up, gets ready for the lower thirds. This is a segment where we take a look at a few crowdfunded campaigns on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, that sort of thing, just to see what's out there. What are people trying to capitalize on? There we go. Nice job, Paul. And we talk about it. What's the deal here? Is there anything worth your hard-earned dollar to actually go out and fund? And obviously we take these with a grain of salt because anything that's crowdfunded that isn't a real product yet, be careful which projects you're putting your money into.
Every crowdfunded product or project that we've recommended on this show has done very well.
That's not true. We have not followed up and confirmed that.
It's an arbitrary statement. It's very difficult to prove.
Oh, yes.
That's why Kept it vague.
That was good. I thought you were playing devil's advocate for.
Oh no, I mean I was gonna say something very specific, like has earned each person $1 million, but that's no, that's probably too much.
Everything in this room was crowdfunded. Some stupid lie.
It's like we're selling Amway or something.
So this first product is the GPD Win 2. It's a handheld game console for AAA games. And hey guys, it's Austin. I thought my system was glitching out when I first saw this. I was like, no, he actually did a video on this exact product.
I wonder how much it costs to get Austin
to review your product.
To do your Indiegogo video.
That's where all the $2 million that they raised went to. Like they got all that back just so they could have.
It's Austin. Probably yeah. So
although I don't know how that.
So they've actually raised $93,000 at this point because $2 million went to Austin for this video.
Yeah, exactly. And then.
So what does this do? What the hell?
It's running Windows 10.
Okay.
So it's running Windows 10, and it's designed to run AAA games in a handheld form factor.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a DS on steroids, right? That's fully PC forward, and clearly there's an interest here because obviously $2 million funded of their $100,000 goal blew well past that, and it's rocking sort of a more obscure mobile processor here, the Intel Core M3 7Y30, which I have never heard of before. And what's also weird is that it doesn't say it has a discrete GPU. It says it's got Intel HD Graphics 615.
Okay.
So it is at 720p.
It's a 720p
screen.
So you don't need.
So that helps. But still, the fact that they're running games like GTA 5 and Battlefield or whatever,
if you're using medium-low settings, you can get a decent amount of frames out of pretty mediocre hardware, especially if you're at 720. 720 is a lot fewer pixels than 1080.
That's true. It'd be interesting to see what kind of frame rates you would get. Although I think the refresh rate here is 60 hertz on the screen. It is an IPS screen, so that's good. You have 8 gigs of memory. You have an M.2 SSD at 128 gigabytes, which is replaceable, and there's no capacity ceiling. So you can stick a 1 terabyte SSD in there if you wanted to, which you'll probably have to if you're installing big AAA titles here. 128 gigs is not going to get you very far. It's made of aluminum alloy, the body anyway. It's got a 2 4900 milliamp batteries in series, and that gives you about 6 to 8 hours of battery life, depending on your usage.
Okay.
So it looks like it's got a built-in sort of, joystick controller. It looks like a built-in Xbox controller, as Austin put it in his video. And, you got to compromise somewhere. With size like this,
you need better pictures. I feel like for an Indiegogo,
there we go.
Appearance, like halfway down the page.
Yeah.
All right,
so looks like it's got sort of like a touch keyboard, like actual physical keys,
D-pad, a couple joysticks.
Yeah, and I feel like it could look a bit more stylish. It doesn't look like a cutting edge product. It looks a little dated, but functionality wise, I'd be curious to see how it performs. The other thing, though, is that it's $650.
Okay.
So it's much more expensive than, say, a DS, which would be probably, at least one of its competitors being a very popular, if not the most popular, handheld gaming device currently. So,
could you argue that since it runs Windows, you could do some productivity stuff on it? I mean, email and web browsing and stuff like that.
I'm not sure how productive it would be without, like, a mouse.
I don't have any of the Nintendo handhelds. Do any of them have like basic internet capability, like a browser or anything? They do.
I don't know if they actually Wi-Fi and stuff. Yeah, I think.
Wi-Fi you connect to the internet to play games, but
I believe a DS has Wi-Fi.
Do they have a browser built in? Can you go on the internet and go to websites?
I want to say yes, but don't quote me on that.
I have no idea. I've never been into handheld gaming.
Yeah, chat's saying yes, you can. So
okay,
Pornhub is an option.
All right, well then that makes that less of a selling point for this thing.
I would think productivity is more productive on your phone than this thing, because
it's got a keyboard. A keyboard.
But so does your phone, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like the touch screen now, where I feel like I'm more used to a touch interface than physical keys.
I guess.
Whereas 10 years ago it was completely backwards, especially with things like autocorrect. Like, does this thing have autocorrect for Windows? You know, if things like that. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a great productivity device, but if you're looking into some AAA games, then
There's also bumper buttons on the back.
good old bumpers, good for FPSs and other things. So there's that. Let's move on though to the next thing.
Wait, so are we funding?
Oh yeah, $650.
$650.
I'm gonna say no because I feel like it sounds too good to be true.
It's gonna be $900 when it comes out.
Right. Yeah, that's the early bird.
At that point, I feel like you could buy a low-end gaming
PC.
laptop.
Right.
With a 1080 screen.
But you won't be able to play it in like a waiting room
Yeah,
or your
I
doctor's
guess.
office. But
Anyway.
then just get a DS. Just get a DS. You get Pokemon.
2 of them for $1,300.
I need 2.
All right. Moving on.
Moving on, the Lexip gaming mouse that has 2 internal joysticks.
Oh.
Say what? Lots of fast-paced editing. Pew, 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 pew.
Fascinating.
Cut. Guy with a Super Nintendo T-shirt telling you stuff
He looks trustworthy.
about this laser-sensored mouse that has 2 joysticks built in. The one that's more obvious is on the side where your thumb would go, and so you can do up, down, left, right, diagonal, and stuff. And it's all programmable.
Oh, there it is.
So you see the little joystick.
Let's jump back again.
I'm thinking maybe scrolling through your items in inventory, right? Maybe that makes it easier than having to use the keyboard for that. Or
Okay.
I guess you could use one for like zooming if you wanted to push forward on the joystick to zoom in like a first-person shooter.
Okay.
There's a bunch of other things that you could program it with. The other joystick that's not as obvious until you get a closer look is actually on the mouse, under the mouse itself.
The mouse
it's sort of on an
is
axis.
sitting on
Another base.
like it floats on a pad of
that shows it right
of
there.
joystickiness.
So you got exactly. So it's kind of like I would imagine this for like flying game, like
So you
flying
can rock it.
simulators or maybe racing games. Not exactly sure.
fascinating.
So it looks like it's just stationary there, but you can also move it like a regular mouse. So that's the second joystick it's talking about. I have to try it.
Yeah,
to
like
really
my
know.
100% concern here would be like accidentally rocking it, like right, because it's an action you're not really used to.
Right.
I guess most of the time when you got your hand on a mouse, usually it's kind of
Pretty
light,
stable,
you know.
right.
So, all right, well that's.
I mean,
then
and
the joystick
as
on
long
the
as
side.
like if it's a game like GTA 5, I could see that actually being semi-useful. Where like as
for
soon
like a flying or something.
yeah, exactly. Like if you're just running around the city, then tilting your mouse like this probably won't do anything. It just won't have any effect. But as soon as you jump into like a chopper, then all of a sudden you get your tilt and yaw and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yaw, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can throw the yeah.
so how much do you think this goes for?
I think we should at least pledge €1 to join their gaming community.
It's just €1,
The early bird price is €99, which is about $123.
Right. That is
Alright.
pretty steep.
That is a lot. Estimated
clearly-
delivery is in June.
There's clearly some interest. It's raised $250,000 out of its $30,000 goal.
There are 98 left, so 900 people have been like, yes, this is worth the money. And then after that, it's going to go up to €109 or about $135. As a early bird on this one, I would say no.
Yeah.
Just because, you want more independent, review of people's response to using it and how effective it actually is and stuff like that.
This seems to me like it has what I would call the Steam controller effect, where it's different and innovative and new, and it's like, ooh, if that worked perfectly as it says it does, it would be amazing. But the execution is a different story. And as we all know, the Steam controller is pretty much unused by everyone, except for our good friend and moderator, Self-Processing in chat.
He
loves it.
I like
He loves
the
it.
Steam controller for playing Minecraft in the living room. Although I haven't done that in a while. Anyway.
Let's move on to the next one. This is the last item here, the NTech, the world's first AIO, or all-in-one, sorry, portable smart 4K projector. It's a 4K projector.
Okay.
And, okay. It's raised almost $500,000, well, $400,000 of its $25,000 goal with a month left to go. It's fairly portable. I mean, it kind of looks like a giant pancake, but taller.
All right.
And it does output 3840 by 2160 at 60 FPS. That's on a DLP projector is the technology it's using. And I don't know much about projectors because I just don't deal with them very often. but this one has an ANSI lumens of 1500, and I don't know how bright that is. It seems low to me, just off the bat, but I don't know. Do you know how bright 1500 ANSI lumens is?
I feel like a full brightness ones are around 3000.
Okay.
But like you, I don't look at projectors that often, so I'd have to, yeah.
Gotcha. And a lot of people in chat are kind of confirming what I already believed, that 1500 is pretty low.
Okay.
And I had that feeling also because they didn't really advertise it, except at the very bottom of the incredibly long post.
Okay.
So that kind of makes sense. So that's really the Achilles heel here, I think.
That's always a problem with this little tiny portable projectors
Exactly,
and stuff too.
they're just not bright enough.
The one they have for the Moto phone, you know, and all those, like they're just you need
pitch blackness. You need pitch blackness, and even
blackness
then,
in order to use them effectively. Yeah.
right.
So
There's that. You know,
Alright.
you can whatever. It's got a speaker that stacks on top of it. It's got Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, so technically, I guess you could stream with it. It's got built-in storage. It's 3D capable. 3D capable. That's kind of cool.
they've raised $415,000.
And it's $500 for the early bird.
Okay.
That's a lot. Like it's a very niche product, I think, that some people are gonna get a kick out of who really like, I don't know, want to watch movies on their ceiling in their bedroom at night, right? Sure, but I don't really see myself using something like this ever. I feel like even if I owned one of these, if someone gave this to me for free, I'd probably never use it.
Yeah, I mean,
there's better options.
It's
there's
like
better technology
interest
out there.
in a projector. Projectors are pretty cool in the right scenario, but that's if you need the right like location and everything for them.
Yeah, it's gotta be that perfect.
If you're
setup.
like baller enough to have a house where you're like, I'm gonna have like a home theater, you know, or something like that, then you want a projector.
Get
But
like
then you want like a
$10,000
big, nice projector with good brightness and like that kind of thing.
Right.
Portable projector is just I don't know. Yeah, I've never. The most of the time when I see ads for portable projectors, they're aimed at like business professionals who like go on the road and do presentations, and usually then you need it to like throw up maybe a short video or a PowerPoint or something like that. So, I don't know.
This kind of falls in the same sort of category as the GPD that we looked at just a moment ago. That was a mini PC, the handheld. Where it's like it's trying to take something that like really high-end technology, or that's something that's usually very large, and cram it down to a portable size for convenience, but you sacrifice a lot of performance that way. And so there are certain components that I feel, certain devices like projectors or like desktop towers that that just aren't ready yet to be condensed down to a small size, just because the technology is not quite there yet. We're not ready. We're not ready for portable 4K projectors, is my opinion. So no, I would not fund this. The one thing that I would fund on this list is probably nothing. I'd probably fund... Okay, if I had to pick, I'd fund the GPD just because Austin was on it. Because Austin endorsed it. No, he didn't endorse it. Because Austin's face was on it. And I like Austin. And you are just struggling with these orgasmic orange pores.
I swear to God, like you...
It's even foaming up in the bottle.
People were watching me, right? That was...
I actually haven't seen you pour
I was
once.
so good, like...
Dude. Anyway. Getting trolled by your beer.
It's alright.
It's alright. It'll go down eventually.
It's orgasmic, so... It's worth it. Excuse me.
There you go. It feels good when you drink it.
Alright.
Alright. So that's to fund or not to fund, ladies and gentlemen.
Hooray!
Yay! Let's move on to the next segment, which is Pit My PC. You guys submitted some pictures of your rigs, and Paul and I are going to help you out and tell you how crappy they are.
Yes.
All right, starting with Jericho. Jericho. He's got a Ryzen 5 1600X with an ASRock Pro 4 AB350M motherboard, 16 gigs of Vengeance LED, 3200 megahertz RAM, GTX 970. WinForce 3X, that's a gigabyte card. Hyper 212 Evo, Defined Mini C from Fractal Design, and storage and stuff. So, this is actually a really clean system, to be honest. I think the thing that stands out to me is just the Hyper 212. While it's a very good price to performance cooler, does tend to look aesthetically on the budget side of things. And
yeah.
I feel like the rest of your case isn't super budget. Like, it's pretty nice. A 970 is still definitely has some oomph to it, and the fractal case that you have here, the Defined C, is a gorgeous case. And so I feel like these premium parts that you have in here, especially with the Windforce cooler, I love that Windforce cooler.
I like this picture a lot. I feel like
yeah, you got a good camera there. I don't know what
you
camera
got
you're using,
just the accent colors. I don't know, everything's working for me here.
Definitely,
I like the little pop of blue. Even though the blue is not matching with the red LEDs, like
it still works.
It's still working for me.
Yeah,
it's
it looks
like
really clean.
It's like a technology-based red, white, and blue theme.
Yeah,
that's
patriotism. America. I like the fact that you swapped out the Cooler Master fan for a fractal one, and especially to make them all unified throughout your case. I think that's great.
Yep.
I just think the heat sink and the copper pipes that are showing on the faceplate of that cooler are a little Uggs, but that's an aesthetic thing. Still a great cooler, especially for the you don't really need a robust cooler for a 1600X, even if you're overclocking really. So yeah, and you've already got the cable thing down. Everything looks good. That's it. I would just maybe upgrade the cooler to like something more pretty. Quad Lumi maybe, H7 from CryoRig, or one of the ETS T40 from Enermax. Those are good values. Or just go balls to the wall with a custom water cooling loop. You should definitely
or just
do that.
Sell everything and replace it all
with a single GTX 1060.
single GTX 1060. That's about what you get for your money right now. All right.
Thanks, Jericho.
Thank you, Jericho. Next up is Swifty. Got a FX 8350, so last gen AMD based system here. 8 gigs of RAM, an RX 470 4 gig, and the GT 430 1 gig. Is that perhaps your physics card, sir? Streaming. So this is two systems. This is a dual system build. So the streaming part is FX 6300 with 4 gigs of RAM and an HD 6450 1 gig. A Hop Colossus 2 capture card. Corsair 540 Air is the case. FX 6300 hits 54C under full load, even with limited airflow, built from parts he already owned. All right.
Another
cool
Hyper 212, looks like.
Is it?
Looks like it.
It's definitely Cooler Master, yeah.
I think it is. So,
all right,
same thing I said last time, but
secondary system crammed here in the back of your Air 540, which is a decent use of that space. There's often lots of extra space in the back of an Air 540 because it's one of the box style cases. So extra power supply, and then this is where the mini ITX system is, which apparently is used for streaming. So that would have been my question, would be how hot does all this get while both of them are running at the same time? Apparently he's saying everything's staying pretty cool too. So props to you for wedging that all in there.
How did he fit a second system back there? Like, there's no mounting points, right? It's not a dual system chassis.
No, this is hacked in there. So he hacked out the back to put the second power supply in. He ran some extensions here for the Ethernet jack and the HDMI out for that system. And he's also got, looks like a secondary HDMI here, as well as a couple USBs and audio. So that's all the basic connections you need.
Wow.
For a system. And there you have it. 2 systems in a single system.
That's pretty cool. I didn't even realize
for gaming
that
and streaming. That's pretty sweet.
Damn.
All right, yeah. I mean, I applaud you on the resourcefulness. This is definitely not cutting edge hardware, but the fact that it's all fitting in there. And I mean, your most powerful part of it, the 8350, which especially if you're overclocking, it can output a decent amount of heat. I forget what the TDP on the 8350 is. I feel like it's
like 180. No one.
It's well, then there's a 9590 that also confuses you because that one has a higher TDP. Anyway, it can output a lot of heat. So that, and the RX 470 as well. That's definitely not the 400 series is from
125. 125 watts TDP for the 83.
Oh, 125? All right, that's not terrible. Anyway, the RX 470, it's decent on heat output, I should say. I'm sorry. So anyway, Well done, and I'm not
Yeah.
sure what to tell you as far as aesthetic upgrades here, because honestly, everything's looking pretty good. Oh, there's a supplemental fan. This is an Antec fan.
Yeah.
Little USB guy.
Right.
For some
The
extra
VRM.
airflow over the VRMs there, too.
I like that.
So, yeah.
I like those little fans.
Very nice.
A nice little makeshift power supply basement, but although that's a hard drive basement, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Right? If it's the Air 540.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, too. Honestly, I have no recommendation for you. At this.
No, yeah. I mean, after seeing what you've done here,
You've
like
got
I
a
can't
really tight
I
system.
can't knock you for anything. You are very crafty, sir.
Well done, sir. Thank you, Swifty.
Thanks, man. Next
right.
we have James Bone with a
So-
Corsair 460X RGB white, Core i5 7600K, and a Z270 Pro 4 motherboard from ASRock, Corsair H100i V2, 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance, DDR4 at 2400, and a GTX 1070.
Okay.
All right, we got a white build going on here, and I love like the component choices. I think everything, like as far as the components go, they seem to work well together. And cable management is the other thing that that's the first thing I noticed is the fans, the front fans. It looks like the cables are kind of hanging out a little bit.
What case is this?
That's the 460X.
460X.
Yeah, Corsair 460X RGB white.
All right.
Which you don't see too often. I haven't seen the white version much, at least in these submissions.
I feel like cable management for some of your fans up here is a little loose, and then you have just a bit of extra hanging out from your PCI Express graphics cable here, and then so you've got the small motherboard and a large case syndrome going on. Although it's micro ATX and a full-size ATX, it's not like a huge difference like mini ITX or something, but it's still, you got a lot of white space down here, and then the fact that you have to string the cables across that makes them stand out even more, especially since it's black on white. So that's what's standing out to me a little bit here. If you really attack the cable management and you want to make it super good looking, even pay attention to little stuff like this, like the cables that are going behind gaps in the motherboard tray. Like those can stand out again, especially if it's black on white, like you've got going on here. So I just feel like a micro ATX case would do you well, unless you're planning on upgrading and expanding in the future. I don't know. That's what I would say, because micro ATX, I really like that form factor. I think it's a nice balance between size and expandability. But when you put it in a full-size ATX case, it's like, well, why didn't you just get a full-size ATX motherboard? Yeah. And then you'd fill out that space and you'd have a little bit more expansion slots and everything. Right. All that said, overall, it's, your color scheme's definitely on point, and you have a nice, as Kyle said, a nice selection of components for sure. So, yeah.
Yep, I agree with everything Paul said.
Cool.
Thanks, James.
Thank you, James.
Next up, we have David. Freshly dusted Core i5's 5370K? Or do you mean 3570K? Maybe he's dyslexic, and he meant 3570K?
What?
Core i5 3570K is what I would assume. He doesn't have a motherboard listed, so it's hard to see which platform this is. Looks like an ASRock Extreme board, maybe.
I want to say 3770K.
Oh, 3770K.
That's going to be...
Yeah, maybe he just missed the 7. But then that's weird, though, because that'd be an i7. It looks like he was trying to write i5. Maybe he just missed the
3570K?
Yeah.
So 3570K.
Right, that's what I think.
Oh, okay, all right.
That'd be my guess. With a GTX 1070 and a BitPhoenix Samurai case. So the case looks fairly budget. You can kind of just tell from the cutouts for the cables and the drive cage 5¼ bays. So it's more or less a budget system, but the Core i5 3570K is still a pretty good chip. It still has some pretty decent single-threaded performance for considering how old it is. You've got a decent GPU to pair it with. I think the 970 still has some power to it. It looks like your rear fan is set to intake, actually, which is kind of competing with your CPU cooler. And it's also probably going to generate more dust in your case because it doesn't look like you have a dust filter on the other side of that fan.
Maybe he reversed his airflow. What if the CPU cooler fan is also pulling?
But you can see the arrows on the CPU cooler fan.
You're right. You can.
Pointing.
Excellent
at the
detective
rear.
work, Kyle.
Ha ha ha! We've done it again, Sherlock. So I would flip that fan unless there's some really weird specific reason that you have it flipped that way. Cable management looks a little hairy down there beneath your graphics card and your drives. So, especially with those blue SATA cables. Dude, I would make them black or red.
Yeah.
Definitely clashing.
SATA cables are like a dime a dozen, like probably literally at this point. So I would say, you know, grabbing some black ones or even some red ones that would go with the kind of black and red theme of your graphics card. Kyle, what's your opinion on keeping the caps on the SLI bridges here?
I was just eyeing those.
What do you think? What do you think?
And
they're somewhat stylish from MSI because, you know, they're red.
Red, right.
It protect those gold contact points, right?
There's something about it though that bothers me. Like just inside, I get just like, oh, I just want to like pick them off. You know what I mean? I think maybe it's just because it's just there for packaging, and I know it's there for packaging mainly. It's not there to be shown off. Mm-hmm. So I think just like I always take them off no matter what they look like.
I usually take them off, yeah.
But you know, to each their own.
All right, so some attack the cable management down here. Get rid of your blue SATA cables. Consider some cable extensions, although overall probably not worth the investment on the system. You probably want to save up for investment in a new platform. So yeah, you're probably gonna have to live with the ketchup and mustard. If you really do want to go through and redo things, consider removing your power supply sticker as well.
And if you upgrade your platform later down the line, I would also upgrade the case at the same time.
Yeah,
it'll give you
cases
a bit more airflow.
This is like a gets the job done case, and whenever you do decide on a new system, you'll appreciate a lot of the advances that have been made in case technology.
Yes,
over the past 5-10 years.
It looks like you're missing a couple expansion slots too. Expansion covers.
Yeah.
But thanks, David.
Thanks, David.
Next up, we've got this is our last one for tonight. Caveman.
The i7-6700 build with a GTX 1070, 8 gigs of ADATA XPG RAM, an Asus H170 Pro motherboard, 120 gig ADATA SSD, 1 terabyte WD hard drive, and asking for judgment.
We shall.
First, judgments. Tell us your case, because it's always helpful to know. NZXT?
Phantom or Switch, maybe?
Yeah.
It's the one that has, like, look at, you can kind of tell goes flat and then it kind of curves in. It's an older case.
Okay.
An older NZXT case. No rubber grommets or anything like that. But the first thing I noticed is that the stock Intel cooler.
You're definitely right on NZXT.
Yeah.
Stock Intel heatsink fan. Yeah, that's a big no-no.
On a 6700, I would get something a little better.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be functional, and you're definitely you don't have an overclockable chip, so don't go dropping, you know, $100 on a liquid cooler or anything like that. That's silly. But you can definitely get yourself some very quiet, like almost makes no noise performance with, you know, a $30 to $40 aftermarket cooler that will also look a lot better. We got the clear LED fan, and I want to make this more of a tradition. I feel like on Pimp My PC that we equate the clear LED fan with like clear heels. Like ladies will critique other ladies for wearing the clear heels. Not classy at all.
No.
Like that's what hookers wear.
Right.
That's what we're talking about here with the clear LED fan. Just yeah.
You're a geek hooker.
Pretty much.
You're a total.
That's what we're saying.
Nerd hooker. Right now.
Not sure about the power supply as well. That also wasn't. Oh wait, it's down here. This is a high power supply. So, yeah, I would.
High power.
I would replace that power supply.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't look. It does have an 80+ rating on the side, but I've never heard of the brand High Power before.
Maybe he got it from like a pre-built or something.
Yeah.
It looks like a power supply that you would find out of like a cyber all-in-one.
Yeah. So consider a power supply upgrade. Your case isn't bad, you know. Like we said, you have cable routing options, but you're not really using them as effectively as you could. You could just pull a lot more of the slack back behind the motherboard, I think, from some of the cables for your PCI Express and your optical drive and that kind of thing. And then other than that...
One stick of RAM.
Oh, there's a single RAM stick, too. Oh, gosh.
Get on that dual channel bandwagon, perhaps.
Yeah, dual channel is a thing.
Make sure
it's not going to make a huge deal for your, I think, in your case. But, I mean, it also balances things out, I feel like.
Yeah.
Just, pair it up.
It's good practice.
And it's performance you're leaving on the table, even if it's not a huge difference.
And just last thing to point out.
What?
More SLI covers. More red SLI covers.
No, I jumped back. I just jumped back.
No, even on, like, look at the new one. Like, look, on this one, too. He's got them...
Hold on, I've got to reopen it.
2 in a row. I think I'm sensing, like, I don't know, there's a conspiracy going on with red SLI finger covers. I don't know.
Right there.
People love them. I don't get it.
Those don't even look like they came with it. Well, I guess if it's an MSI... Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a MSI GTX 1070. So
I guess they're red no matter, even if there's no red accents on the card
So sell
itself.
your 1070 for like $3,000.
Yeah, and then just buy
a 1060 for $1,000, and then spend the extra $2,000
on SLI covers.
Upgrading the rest of your system.
Oh, yeah.
And SLI covers. All right.
Thank you everyone who submitted.
Yay.
Guys, if you didn't happen to get picked this week, there will be other opportunities in the near future. But
looking forward to it.
Let us move on to... Let's just do some tech news.
All right.
Let's do some tech news here. We got a few stories here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I've only got like 3 or 4 stories here for tech news. We got a lot more stuff on Paul's half. But for starters here, we've got an article from videocards.com about some new Coffee Lake CPUs that are ready, locked and loaded, and ready for shipping. These are going to be launching over the next couple months, very soon. And we've got the Core i5 8600 non-K, so it'll probably be a little bit cheaper. It's actually quoted here at $220 US. And then we have the i5 8500 at $200. We have an i3 at the i3 8300 for $135. So definitely drops down quite a bit. I'm not sure if that's a quad core or dual core. I want to say dual core, but not sure. And at least 5 Pentiums and Celerons. There will also be cheaper motherboards. Why are you smiling? Oh, because
Hero.
Is he? Where is he?
He dragged the bed over so he could be like right there.
Why he dragged it over?
Yeah, and he does that.
He's doing stuff down there.
He does now. He's like licking himself, and it just sounds very gratuitous.
It is.
But yeah, I need to catch him moving the bed. Like he's very stealthy. It's like suddenly like, wait, what?
Yeah, for being like the biggest dog ever. Like he's super ninja.
Yeah, he just
somehow
sneaks the bed around.
Makes it terrifying.
Anyway, sorry.
And then so cheaper motherboards will be launching alongside this new wave of Coffee Lake chips. So we're going to see, the H370 and B360 chipsets, which obviously just makes things even more confusing than they already are.
H370.
Yep. And B360.
And
it's like, and I mean, you got the B350 on the AMD side, so it's just there's no helping us.
I like X370 and Z370.
Yeah.
Every time I hear one or the other, I have to kind of think like, wait, that's the AMD. Okay. It's just
like the X and the Z are just two of those exotic letters that just kind of are interchangeable or synonymous. So it's just
really annoying.
Bleh, bleh. I made that mistake so many times. Yeah,
okay.
No, like you had 26 letters in the alphabet, and you had literally any 3-digit number, and that's the one you picked. I don't know. Hashtag marketing. I don't understand it. So
I hate it.
Some new chips there for all you Coffee Lake lovers. It seems the Z390 motherboards and the 8-core CPU we've been hearing about are going to be launching at a later time. It was speculated at one point that it would be launching alongside everything we just mentioned, but rumors are saying suggesting summer release.
Z390?
Z390 motherboard.
Why is that needed?
That I don't know.
What does that do?
I don't know. Maybe it's an 8-core Coffee Lake CPU that Intel's just like, I don't know.
That they need a new chipset for?
Right? Like, why do they need... Like, what's the new chipset going to bring? Unless the 8-core CPU is not Coffee Lake, and it's... What's the next one? Latte Lake?
Cappuccino Lake.
Cappuccino Pond?
I don't know.
I honestly haven't read any of the rumors on Z390 or this 8-core CPU. It was just mentioned in the article, and they didn't really go into detail about it.
You sure it's not just videocards.com just fucking with us? Like,
yeah. I mean,
let's
it could
put
very well be.
Make up a bunch of numbers for the new stuff. People will be all confused.
Hey, let's send this over to WCCF Tech.
Oh, God.
Let them post about it, too. Right. So that's apparently going to compete with the Zen Plus Ryzen 2 family, which launches later in April, which I think we have more confidence that is actually happening than Z390 and this 8-core CPU, this mystery CPU we're hearing about.
And like my question's gonna be, when they launch these new platforms, like are GPU prices and memory prices affecting investment in the CPUs and the motherboards, right? Because you have different companies making different products, but it's all part of the same. They're all part of the same ecosystem over there,
right?
So I feel like at some point, you know, depending on whether we actually get graphics cards back in stock and available for sale, like it's gonna start affecting sales of
other components,
some of the other system components.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I don't know.
That's really weird. Unless, yeah, I mean, yeah, I would have to. I'm gonna be really curious to see what. I don't know though. Would it? Because, you know, the same sort of thing that you were saying, like, when I was like, why would they even sell, like, $900 GPUs? And you were like, well, they're clearly selling for that price if they're putting them at that price. So would we really see a drop-off in, like, new PC builds? Whether or not they're for gaming. Like, they might just be for mining. You know what I mean?
For something like a rapid price increase like that, you can just kind of logically verify that yes, they must be selling, because prices don't go up like that unless they're selling. For something that's selling at MSRP, if it's selling good or not, that's harder to determine, and it's up to the company to decide how they want to deal with that. Sometimes they might deal with it like, all right, there's a lull in sales right now, but we don't want to devalue our product, so we're not going to change our pricing. We're just going to kind of wait this out. Sometimes they might be like, all right, we need to drop prices because demand isn't where it should be.
Right.
So,
and you know what? Now that I think about it, you're not going to need an 8-core high-end Intel CPU to mine anyway. Yeah. So people wouldn't be buying this CPU for gaming or for mining. Which, yeah, maybe you're right. We're just going to see a big, a dip in high-end
it's almost
PC
something
components.
that I like, not hoping for, but just like if there's anything that can be done to push GPU manufacturers or whoever else can have an impact on graphics card prices to do something, then hopefully it happens, I guess.
Well, we are going to be talking about Intel perhaps making plans for a GPU of their own on Paul's half, so stay tuned for that.
That's probably a couple of years out. But yes, we will be talking about that.
It's probably not gaming right away, but still exciting news. Let's move on to our next article from The Verge. I didn't realize this was a couple days old. It came out February 14th, but less than a week ago, so still semi-relevant.
That's right.
This is about the HomePod, the Apple HomePod, which has been destroying wooden desks and tables everywhere with this nasty white ring of death, is what I'm calling it.
Might as well burn your house down.
Right? It's all ruined.
Something like that.
Several outlets are claiming that it leaves a white ring on wooden surfaces. Apple confirmed the issue with them, stating the marks can, and like there's a lot of Apple quotes in this little article here.
Yeah.
That every time I read one, I'm just like, really? That's like my initial response. So first they said the marks can improve over several days after the speaker is removed from the wood surface.
Oh, good.
So apparently this is just a self-correcting issue that, I don't know, Apple has some invisible helpers that will clean up the stain. It'll just dissolve apparently over time. And then Apple also suggests that users try cleaning the surface with the manufacturer's suggested oiling method if the rings persist. So Apple's solution is, our product damaged your table? Well, you should clean it then. Okay.
It's reasonable.
Sure. Putting it on a cloth, some people are like, why don't you just put it on like a little cloth, on your table? That doesn't work as well because the way it's designed, it has the tweeters actually firing downward, so it sort of uses a hard surface to reflect the sound and to create a bigger, you know, a bigger spatial noise in your room. And having a cloth or, you know, carpeted surface underneath it of any kind would definitely hamper the very impressive sound from this device. So that's not really a solution. I was thinking like chopsticks or something. Like take 2 chopsticks, you know, just 2 rails and just like put it on the chopsticks. But that's probably stupid. It's probably better to just, you know, ruin your table. Apple updated its support page for the HomePod, saying it is not unusual for any speaker. I like how they say it's not just our speaker. It's not unusual for any speaker. With a vibration dampening silicone base to leave mild marks when placed on some wooden surfaces. That's the end of the quote, so I can't finish.
I wanna die.
I wanna die.
It's such a fun song.
Okay. It is. So that's what they're saying. It's not unusual. They're in agreement with that song.
Okay.
So the marks apparently are caused by oils diffusing between the silicone base and the table surface. Table surface. I don't know what that is. They, at the very end of the day, they said they recommend placing your HomePod on a different surface if nothing else works. If you clean it, if you try cleaning it doesn't work, or if the stains persist, just put it on a different surface. So they should have like a supported list, official supported list on the HomePod box of tables and surfaces you can put it on. If that's their official statement. Does not support wood. HomePod.
They just need...
Not only does it not support Spotify fully, it also doesn't support
They just
wood.
need to ship it with like a HomePod condom. Like a rubber thing.
Just like stretch it over halfway.
Roll it up around the outside. Keeps it contained. Usually has minimal impact on, you know, the sound.
Ribbed for her pleasure.
Yeah. I think that's the solution they're missing.
I think protection is what we need.
Excuse me.
So,
right.
Good job, Apple. Keep it up. Next up, we're talking about, speaking of which, we're talking about Spotify next, and how certain job listings that they've posted recently semi-suggest, or definitely suggest, really, that they have some plans to launch one or more connected hardware products. Spotify is currently the leading global music streaming service. Very impressive. They're huge. But that's all they've been up until now.
They're only the world's most popular global streaming service.
Very, very small feat. You know what they say about feet. So this is a whole new venture that they're tapping into here. They're gonna try competing with the Apple HomePod, which I think they should, because the HomePod is very resistant to working with Spotify, and it very much favors the Apple Music streaming service. Very much a locked-in ecosystem. So maybe this is sort of a response, or will inevitably be a response to that product. It's also going to compete with the Amazon Echo and the Google Home, that sort of thing. But we don't know exactly what it is yet. All we know is that they're working on some kind of hardware product. We don't know if it's going to be a speaker or a smartwatch, headphones. It could be anything. We don't know.
What if it's like a rocket?
Oh.
What if they're going to compete with SpaceX?
The Spotify Heavy.
The Spotify rocket.
Just plays music as it goes up into space.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, well, they're a simple company.
That's my theory.
So, who knows what they're making here, but, the job listings that they have include things like operations manager for hardware product, project manager for hardware production and engineering, and
rocket scientist.
And they say, in the actual rocket scientist. In the actual description of their job listings, it says, Spotify is on its way to creating its first physical product and setting up an operational organization for manufacturing, supply, chain sales, and marketing. It's also very strong hints that they're ready and gearing up for fulfillment and distribution. So there's going to be a Spotify product soon.
And delivering payloads to low Earth orbit.
No! They're not making rockets. But that would be really funny if they did. If
Just think get more companies getting into the space
you
race.
turned out to be right, everyone would think that you were like an undercover spy or something. Paul knew before everyone.
Probably, yeah.
He's being paid off. Russian. I don't know, but it's a crowded market they're getting into. To be honest, I don't think we really need another smart-enabled speaker for our home that's voice-activated or whatever. So Spotify's really going to have an attractive price point. It's going to have to be a great product, and it will surely have to incorporate some very Spotify-specific features in order to really sell.
I don't like the consolidation of the vertical, but like the software and the hardware vertical, because it's too. I like software services that will function on a variety of different hardware devices to give you options there. So
yeah. I agree.
I'm less enthused about this because
it seems more
like a hardware device that works for Spotify.
Exactly.
And if you're not if it can do things other than Spotify, it'll probably always be kind of like nudging you towards like, hey, you want to listen to music on Spotify?
Exactly. Yeah. At the end of the day, they're still trying to push for their own team. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. I personally use Spotify all the time. It's the only music streaming service that I use.
So you're already compromised.
Basically. Well, not really, because I have a Google Home that I love. That also integrates so well with Spotify. And even like Google Assistant on your Pixel and stuff works flawlessly with Spotify. So I really, like you said, like I don't really see a need to go, to pick up something like this instantly. Again, it's going to have some really juicy features specific to Spotify in order to get my interest. So more on that later. I'm sure we'll talk about it when it actually comes out. But for now, let's talk about our final article for tonight.
Xbox One X.
For my half. About the Xbox One X and One S.
Oh, and the S.
Receiving 1440p support.
Woohoo!
Very soon.
4040?
This is articles from Hexus. Thanks, Hexus. Microsoft confirmed recently that native support for 1440p displays was imminent. The Xbox One X targets 4K displays, right? That's their 4K console. Using super sampling tech to deliver some really smooth visuals, visual upgrades on 1080p displays. However, a 1440p display is really
better.
Is
better than 1080.
Is better than 1080.
More pixels.
Rather than being Goldilocks, according to the article, suffers from suboptimal 1080p imagery.
What does that mean? What does Goldilocks mean?
I think it means that it's too high.
It's not too hot.
Right.
It's not too cold. It's just right.
Just right, perhaps.
But it's a monitor. What?
I mean, is in terms of the resolution.
I'm sure this makes sense in the context of what the writer was trying to do. I'm just right now I'm failing to grasp this.
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of threw me off with the Goldilocks thing too.
Goldilocks is
it's
an important story though.
I think
for people to learn.
Yeah.
I think that's really what this is getting at.
This is a show about learning.
Is that everyone, it's all about moderation. You shouldn't be too extreme on one side or the other.
Which is why 1440p is like the master race.
And really, we should all come together as people and all be nice to each other.
And
I think that's really what this article is getting at.
And something inspirational.
It's really a message to all the people of the world, and especially Xbox One owners.
Yes, Xbox One owners.
Sorry, let's bring this back.
In particular, are the most affected.
Slide it back in.
As much as we'd like to think that Microsoft is changing the world with their Xbox resolution support, Xbox owners should rejoice over this. Apparently, like the upscaling from 1080p to 4K is what it's intended for the Xbox One X, the Xbox One X. So I guess upscaling from 1080p to 1440p, what they're saying here is not quite as graceful. It kind of just looks.
It's more of an in between. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
1080 to 4K. It's just you make every single pixel becomes 4 pixels, and then it's the same thing.
Right.
It's a very simple scale.
Indeed. The Xbox One S, however, is a little too weak to really game at 1440p. So that probably has something more to do with the user interface. Having more real estate when you're just browsing around doing video playback. Video playback might look a little crispier and other low-intensity tasks could benefit from the higher resolution. But I think really, if we're talking about gaming here, you're going to have to be on the Xbox One X to really take advantage of that. Some folks also in the article were complaining about PUBG players on Xbox using an adapter for keyboard and mouse, and they were complaining that they were too good, like they were OP. Like I keep getting headshotted like from like miles away from this dude or all these people who are using keyboard and mice, and I'm on a stupid gamepad. And a rep from Xbox tweeted out that the game developers like Bluehole, who develops PUBG, they have the capability to either block keyboard and mouse users or at least separate keyboard and mouse users from gamepad users in different servers, so that there's no conflict of, you know, skill level or whatever. I thought this was decided
like back in 2009 or something like that. Like it wasn't that argument settled?
What was decided?
Just the like controller versus keyboard and mouse, and just the vast chasm of disparity between. Like,
oh yeah. Right. I mean, everyone who... I forget. You should know that you're going to lose most time.
I would need to look it up, but there was an early online co-op game that they did where they allowed PC gamers to play against console gamers, and it was like basically all the console gamers just quit because it was such a ridiculous slaughter.
Yeah.
But speaking of PUBG, and we're not talking about this on my half, but Gamers Nexus just did an Xbox PUBG video where they tested the frame rate on it. They're doing some crazy software frame rate testing thing for consoles,
That's interesting.
And it sucks.
It sucks. The frame rate on PUBG is like what?
It's really bad. It's like between 10 to 20 frames per second at times, depending on what was going on. There's all sorts of weird inconsistencies with it, of like textures showing up and disappearing at different times.
Oh, shit.
And like rubber banding like crazy as you went and did different things.
Wow.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty funny video to watch, just because there was so much nonsense and horribleness to the Xbox port for it. So it's kind of fun.
Anyway. That is interesting. So that's that, and that concludes my half for the most part. We can go ahead and venture into Q&A, or no? Yeah, Q&A.
Oh yeah. If anyone donated, we're gonna quickly answer your question. If your question is complicated though, and let's try to enforce this. Please ask us very simple, easy to answer questions, just so we can get through this part, because it tends to get long at times. So
it does.
Thank you, and we're gonna try to answer quick.
Okay.
Anyway.
Pup Shepherd, $10. According to my tracking number, Kyle got my gift from Uber Prince about 2 weeks ago. Also, I got my first patron subscriber today and passed 700 subscribers. I hope you are well. BTC on the rise. Yes, Pup. I believe I did get something from you. Uber Prince, that sounds like a t-shirt thing. I checked my mailbox today. I forgot I didn't actually bring the mail here to Paul's house, but one of them did seem to be a t-shirt, and I think it was from you. So
you probably got it.
Hopefully we can open that next week.
Cool.
But thank you very much. Philip C, 5 GBP. Bought a KFA2 1080 Hall of Fame for the low price of only 150 GBP on one twist is the switch on the back was snapped off. Thoughts on this card?
The switch was snapped off?
KFA2, what switch? Maybe like a BIOS switch?
The Hall of Fame cards from Galax, some of them on the very back of the card have like a button switch that you push in and it engages a turbo mode.
Right.
Which, if it was broken off, I wouldn't care about that, because
you can
manually overclock it yourself and do whatever. If that's what you're talking about. If you're talking about something on the back of the card, like back of the PCB or something that snapped off,
return it.
Then no. Then that would make sense why it was so inexpensive for you. Anyway, but yeah, that seems like a great deal.
The Hall of Fame cards are good.
They're very nice.
That you got one. Scott Dildick, $6.66. How about them GPU prices? They suck. Kyle, if you got a truck like Paul, your beard would grow full.
It's true.
I really wish that were the case. I've been trying to grow this thing out for years. It ain't happening.
I like my truck.
I hate being Asian. MB67, $13.37. Cheers. Cheers to you, MB.
Thank you for sending the beautiful photos. I don't always reply to them, but I do see them.
Beautiful photos?
Yeah, and he tweets picture. They're shoes of the ocean.
Oh,
it's pretty.
I don't get those. Maybe I do, but I haven't checked.
You're just a dick.
I'm super jealous. Kisus? It's like a whole Asus thing.
Anyway.
$10, Z87, Z97. with an i7 or just upgrade my FX 8120? Getting poor 1080p performance.
I would go with a Ryzen platform right now over
Yeah.
Z87 or Z97.
Definitely.
Because it's probably going to be
More
difficult
modern.
to find motherboards that are reasonably priced and that you know are functional. And yeah, you have more, they're a lot more new. Z97 barely had like M.2, maybe an NVMe support on Z97, but I'm not sure. It probably depends on the board. But yeah, just consider a Ryzen upgrade. There's plenty of options there.
You'll have a way better upgrade path too.
And if you can wait till April, there's Ryzen 2 coming
Exactly.
out, so.
Gretz Studios, $10 shout out from Monroe, MI, Mississippi, maybe? Michigan? Mississippi. I greatly enjoy both your content. I've been a supporter for your channels for a few years now. Kyle, I entered my PC and pimped my PC. Check it out, bro. Have a good one, guys. Gretz, sorry I didn't get around to your PC
Michigan.
this time. All right, Michigan. Good old Michigan, obviously. We are fully American, I promise. And yeah, cool.
So many M states.
I know. Send it in
sorry.
next week, man. Maybe I'll pick it out. KMac, $11.11. Hey, I'm the fellow Kyle who donated the day my water heater burst.
Oh.
You guys told me to send a message next time for Pimp My PC and hoping you'd get to me. You guys rock. Twitter is KMac2024, a fellow Kyle. Kyle, I did not see your tweets today. We kind of scrambled at the end there. Pimp My PC was the last thing that I curated for the show, so I missed a ton of submissions. I mean, there's like literally hundreds by the time I actually go through them. So, and I pick like 5 or 6 for the show. So there's a really good chance that I just missed yours. But keep sending them in. Don't lose hope, because I switch it up every week. El Jolo, $5. Just want to say that you guys are great. Thanks for the show. Also, what do you guys think of the MSI Gaming Radeon RX 480 8GB GPU for 1440p? The RX 480 for 1440p?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not excellent, but it's not bad, especially with the 8 gig model. That's fine.
yeah.
You're not going to be able to play everything at high settings, but you're fine. Thank you for your donation, sir.
Yes.
John Edgett with the $10 donation. Happy Chinese New Year. Tet? I don't know what Tet is.
Tet?
I do know Chinese New Year. It's the year of the dog.
Happy New Year.
I made a fan art game of you guys on itch.io. It would be cool if you guys could check it out sometime. Keep up the awesome work. Okay.
Send it to us next week in a donation or something like that.
He just did a donation. He's
No,
got
I
a
know, but I
donation.
mean, like the link to it. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not familiar with itch.io.
yeah, I wouldn't know how to find it even if I went on there. But
fascinating.
link us somehow. That's really cool.
Oh,
Actually.
he says, P.S. Search Face Off to find it. He did a follow-up donation. I forgot to include
oh.
that in the first message with the follow-up.
That answers my question. All
Thank
right,
you, John.
perfect. Cool.
All right, cool.
Thanks, man.
Jay Miller with a $10 donation. Finally catching a live show. Been a while. Just sold my PC except Meshify C and storage. Can't beat selling a used $800 1070.
Wow.
I
Amazing.
mean, yeah, that is the flip side of the GPU price debacle situation right now. Is anyone who is in a situation to get rid of one can make a nice
And for
profit.
$800 for a 1070, like if
Yeah.
it was in decent condition, like I'm sure some miner was like, I got a hell of a deal.
Like
on
especially
that
if you
thing.
bought it, because right when the 1070s launched and they were supposed to be $380, and then they came out and they were all $450, and everyone was like, "That's stupid Nvidia,
Y'all
whatever,
should've bought
blah blah."
5.
It's like $450 for a 1070.
Oh, what I would
Like,
do.
Oh my god. But yeah, nice flip there. Thank you, Jay, for your donation.
Thanks, man. Automatic Matt, $5. Hey guys, currently studying CCNA for my exam in 3 weeks. Can't stay to watch, but I miss this show a lot. And beer. I miss beer.
Cheers,
we
Matt.
miss you, Matt.
We miss you.
Thanks for
We'll
being
drink
here.
beer for you.
Claire Mysterian, $5, getting into Fine R6, had a 1600X and RX 580. Wondering if I put a CLC 240mm up top versus air cooler on the CPU would help to keep the GPU temps lower. Typically,
Probably a little bit.
Typically, maybe a couple degrees, but
It's more because it's more effective at moving, just getting the heat up and away from it.
yeah, instead of circulating in your case. That being said, you're not going to run into like overheating issues or throttling, even if you have an air cooler in there, as long as your GPU is still staying well under TJ max. So don't let that influence your. Don't let that be the main decision-making factor. Is what I would say.
And a 1600X doesn't put out a ton of heat anyway.
Very good point.
John Kelly, $5 donation. Any suggestions for a 4K media server CPU? Must be HEVC 10 compatible. Kyle, keep up the quality Wi-Fi-based content. It's always refreshing. Yes,
Indeed.
it is.
Yes, I'll
Yes,
keep
it is.
exploiting my wife.
4K media server CPU.
You don't need anything that
HEVC 10
like
compatible.
a Core i3 or like a Ryzen 3 chip, honestly, for a 4K streaming server, right? You don't need anything.
Yeah,
like,
it would also depend, John, on
or an APU, I guess.
if you're talking about a media server, if you're talking about just for the content on like the single home theater that you're setting up for that server to be part of and deliver content to, or do you have a family with four kids who are all going to be streaming independently to their devices or otherwise? That's a big impact on that, and I know there's online information that has more follow-up on that, but that's what I would look up, just as like how many 1080 streams can that CPU support.
Right.
That's kind of the searches I'd be looking for when it comes to people who do better at discussion.
That'd be a good video for like one of the Ryzen APUs.
I probably would. Yeah, good idea. But anyway, there's if you do that search, you'll find people who can give you better advice than we can off the top of our heads. But if you're just looking for something basic, then yeah, kind of the lowest end of the current platform is what we would go for, whether it's a Ryzen 3 or a low end Pentium or i3. Yeah. Okay.
San Diego LAN, $5. Would love to see you two come out to our 3-day LAN-a-thon in San Diego, March 30th through April 1st. SanDiegoLAN.net is our site. You're welcome to film. Thank you for the invite. I haven't been to a LAN in a while. Those are fun. I'll look into
San
that.
Diego.
Yeah, I think I might be busy because April 1st is Easter, and I think I'm doing a family thing for Easter, which is weird. Easter's on April 1st this year. So I might not be able to make that, but I'll look into it in case Easter doesn't happen or something. Irvine, FTW. Irvine for the win. $20. Wow, thank you.
Yay.
Thank you very much. Want to thank both of you. I never would have gotten into PC gaming, let alone building my own PC. Well, you are certainly
You're very welcome.
welcome, sir.
And thank you for your donation.
Yeah.
I'm very
Cheers.
glad we could help. Sean Nelson, with $10 Australian. I am a content creator in Adobe. Should I follow Paul's entry-level Threadripper build and get a 1900X and upgrade to a second-gen Threadripper in the second half of 2018? Or should I wait for second-gen Ryzen in Q2 of 2018? I love you guys. Ah, gosh.
It depends,
Adobe.
man. If you're talking about like
Yeah.
Adobe Photoshop, then like Ryzen, like second-gen Ryzen. Oh, second-gen Ryzen Threadripper. I don't even think you need Threadripper. You don't need high-end desktop if you're doing Photoshop. If you're doing video editing, then yes.
Yes.
Then go high-end desktop.
And you're not mentioning content creator in Adobe. Could be Photoshop.
Exactly. Premiere.
Or it could be Premiere.
Are you rendering?
If you're doing lots of video work and lots of video transcoding, and if you want to take all of your video, for example, and transcode it over to like a lossless codec that you can render and scrub through the timeline and have immediate... Anyway, if you're doing lots of video transcoding, then definitely go Threadripper. If you're just doing Photoshop, then you're okay with your AM4 platform.
Mainstream Ryzen.
Mainstream Ryzen. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you very much, though. Jay Bell, $5. When do you think that motherboards will ship working with the new Ryzen APUs?
There are already motherboards that
Yes.
are available in stores as well as online. Sometimes online can be difficult, but you just have to look, and if they label it Ryzen or Raven Ridge ready,
Right.
or basically it'll say something like that. Motherboard boxes, they'll put a sticker on if you're looking in store, and it'll say that.
Right.
And we're going to talk about this on my side, AMD actually has a program in place where they will ship you a low-end temporary APU that you can plug in to update your BIOS and make your motherboard ready for Raven Ridge for a
I wish we had that kind of support for our review of like I feel like the board that they sent me wasn't fully compatible or supported the APU. I don't know. I was having issues.
Yeah, there have definitely been some stability issues and stuff like that that various people have experienced.
Gamers Nexus did a whole video on it recently. How to work around that.
Which sucks.
That was like 16 hours of troubleshooting for them.
Yeah.
I got up to about 8 hours and I threw in the towel and it's like I'll revisit this later. So good to hear that at least average consumers are getting that sticker, validated sticker.
Yeah, and things will get easier and smoother as BIOS updates and that sort of thing come out.
Yep. Philip C, 5 GBP. Good. The 1080 Hall of Fame guy. It's the boost button on the back. I'll be pairing it with a 1600X at 3.8 gigahertz on a 2560 by 1080 at 75 hertz. Worth upgrading to 3440 by 1440 at 75 hertz. I would say that's a worthwhile upgrade. A GTX 1080 could definitely handle that.
Yeah, and
at 75 hertz, that resolution, no problem.
This is probably my bias because I experienced 3440 by 1440 before I looked at a 2560 by 1080 screen, it's a pretty nice update.
Oh yeah,
and a 1080 can handle it.
Yeah, and
absolutely. Then you're totally golden with your inexpensive 1080 Hall of Fame with the broken switch on the back, because honestly that switch doesn't matter. Just load up the Galax or Afterburner or either of those apps and overclock it yourself, and you're just fine.
Yep.
Okay.
Curmudgeon, $5. Why don't Fractal, Noctua, etc. sell thicker fans, say 2 inches thick, as an alternative to using radiators? Stacking fans probably won't be as good.
As an alternative to using...
Instead of doing push-pull, having just push, but the push fans are twice as thick, and maybe the blades are beefier or something. I don't know if thicker fans or thicker blades would necessarily equate to...
They definitely exist, and if you're, especially if you're in the enterprise space, like the variety of different fans that they have that go up to really high RPMs and stuff is pretty interesting. And I've definitely seen the big beefy ones that are super thick that probably have really good static pressure and everything like that. I'm imagining it's a combination of like existing tooling for manufacturing, which makes the cost for the sort of typical 120 millimeter, 25 millimeter thick fan just a lot less expensive to make. Yeah, that's probably what it boils down to.
It's possible that a fan that thick might also be louder than 2 fans half of its size.
Yeah. If you want to be less cynical, you could say they've probably tested different thicknesses and found that the thickness that most of the fans currently have is the most effective when it comes to thickness compared to effective cooling or static pressure performance.
Science.
But who knows?
Yeah. Thank you for your donation, though.
Thank you.
Jason H., $5. I'm currently gaming on a 2013 MacBook. Are NZXT pre-builts worth it right now? Looking for a 1080 gaming / 3D modeling rig. I did a video on this. Watch the video.
Is it out?
It's out. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, your NZXT,
the BLD service that they do. It's actually. Sorry, I just got a big donation.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing.
It's actually pretty good. You can get all the parts for MSRP. At least when I did the video, I'm sure it's still that way. So do it now before they change it. Before you have to pay double, triple the price for a GPU or something. Watch the video. I posted it maybe 2 weeks ago. It's up there. And then finally, our last donation that just rolled in, Majin Vejito for $200. Majin.
My God.
Maheen, I don't know. Sorry, I feel like I need to pronounce your name right because this is a very beefy donation. Thank you.
Vegito.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Keep up the good work. Always look forward to y'all videos.
Majin Vejito.
All y'all's videos. Go and take your wife out for dinner on me. I will, and I will tweet it so that you know that I used your money wisely.
You should do that.
Thank you.
You should also come back for Awesome Hardware episode 140, Side B.
Side B for Paul's half.
Paul's half.
Paul has a wife too,
which is also...
Paul has a wife,
which is also excellent, always.
Yes, but...
Speaking of which...
Johnsons?
Yeah, let's quickly do some Johnsons.
Really quick, Johnsons.
Thank you again for all of the donations, you guys.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Okay. I only have a few here. First of which goes to Travis. Travis, you are my first Johnson for tonight. Picking up a CPU cooler T-shirt. We've got like 2 or 3 more here. Chandler for picking up a CPU cooler hoodie. Thank you, Chandler. And James for picking up a Bitwit gray black tri-blend T-shirt. Tri-blend T-shirt. And finally, we have Saxon. You got an Awesome Hardware Sword Fight Gaming mouse pad.
All right, I have like 5 or 6. Joel, thank you very much, Joel. Johnson to you, Joel, from South Carolina. Got the pub glass. What the hell just happened? The hell just happened? I clicked back and it went too far back. Zane, is it Zane Double Johnson?
Zane.
Double Johnson, Zane from New Zealand. Got the heavy metal thumbscrew shirt. Thank you so much, Johnson to you, Zane. Sean from Arizona. Got the stainless steel bottle opener. High quality. We'll open many bottles for you. Thank you so much. And Johnson to you. James from Ohio. Got the black tri-blend thumbscrew shirt. Johnson to you, James. And finally, Joshua from Texas. Also a big Johnson for grabbing that thumbscrew gaming mouse pad and desk mat set. The set, the collection. Collect them all. Thank you guys so much for watching this half of Awesome Hardware.
Beautiful.
We'll be back in just a minute.
With Paul's half.
Side B.
Yep.
Links in the description, right?
Yep. Yes, it is.
Down there, so click it.
Do it.
In the meantime, hit the thumbs up button on this video, and go ahead and browse all of the other excellent Bitwit videos. Can be found down there in the YouTube area.
Thank you for the plug.
They're excellent. You should watch them all.
And if you want to do timestamps, because I'm lazy, do the timestamps, and I'll pin the shit out of you.
We'll love you long time.